Usually, if you wanted to add original music to your videos or movies, then you would have to spend hours and hours writing thousands of measures of music. This might seem exciting, but trust me, it is extremely slow and quickly gets very boring. So before I was about to make another 1107 measures of symphony music, I decided that I finally had enough. I will find a way to make this less boring. That is, by spending even more hours to create a crappy automatic film score generator. But at least I had past experience from when I made an automatic trap song generator. The only problem was that the trap generator had a very predictable song structure, had a repeating melody that always had a 4/4 time signature, could make songs as long as it needed to for it to sound good, and the key was always minor, so the chords were mostly the same. So the first thing I did was write a plan, which is something I had never done for my past projects. If the plan was wrong, then I would have to restart everything. But in this case, I didn't even know where to start, so I needed to write a plan. Basically, the user would input keyframes for each time the mood changes. The user could also create custom themes that would play at certain keyframes. Each keyframe had information on the time, mood, if it would use the theme and how much it can vary, how intense the mood is, how much the melody would ease into the next, the volume, the chance of putting a riser before the melody, and which instrument or group it would emphasize. I also added an 11th value, but I have no idea what I was going to use it for. Anyways, after that, it gets started by generating a pool of random numbers, since this thing will use pseudorandom. It then would find a melody contour based on the mood or theme song. Next, it would find a BPM that would fit the segment length, the BPM range for the mood, and allow for there to be a good amount of measures for the time signature, which was randomly determined from the mood presets. Next, it would pick if the melody was going to use a single melody pattern like in house music, or was going to change. It would then generate random values for 8 measures of beats. These values would determine the seed it would use to generate the melodies and rhythms, so they would repeat instead of sounding completely random. Next, it would find beats to stress based on the mood, intensity, and cutoff amount. It would fill these stressed beats with other beats based on the intensity and cutoff amount, creating the main rhythm. If it was using a theme song, then it would generate based on the theme's rhythms, and it would vary it based on the theme variation amount. Next, it would assign instruments to the melody, harmony, second harmony, accompaniment, second accompaniment, riser, and submelody. After, it would generate the melody pitches. It did this by taking the current chord of the melody contour, then determining the key it is using, picking a certain arpeggio note of the key based on the melody pattern, and adding it to a random note that goes along with the note. If the note was stressed, then it would use a wider range of the random notes. Then, based on the tremolo multiplier determined from the mood presets, it would change a fraction of the stressed beats into tremolos. Finally, it would combine the lists of pitches, note lengths, and tremolos, and add them to the melody's instrument. And after that, it would create accompaniments, harmonies, and percussions, but I didn't get to that point yet. But anyways, here is a suspense melody, because I only made the suspense mood so far, that this current algorithm can generate. There is obvious room for improvement, since the melody barely even sounds like one. But I only worked on this for 6 days, so it will get better soon. I will update you guys in 2 weeks like I usually do. See you next time, and bye.